Our base medrash. Once again, it's been too long. It's been years, and we're grateful that you're back to share with us words of Torah. As everyone knows, the Rabbi was born on the same day that the bomb was dropped in Hiroshima, and that's because the Torah of Rebbe Nachman is just that. It is so powerful that it takes apart, splits the atoms of the universe, and releases all the energy. So it's really, we're all grateful for what the Reb Kramer has done to open up worlds in the Torah of Reb Nachman, and it is a privilege to hear the Rabbi speak once again.
Thank you. Do whatever you want with that. That's your problem. Good afternoon. We're holding my Pasha's B'chukosa here, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm in Bamidbar, but okay. Right?
We're all in Bamidbar.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. That's where I'm up to, coming from where I come. The Parsha opens up beautiful for Am Yisrael. Everything's going to be great. But then we have the Toichacha. And Rashi explains that the Toichacha between now, Parshas B'chukosai, and the Toichacha and Kisovai by Moshe Rabbeinu, this is a much harsher and stronger Toichacha. Right? But Hashem never lets his people suffer that long. He's going to bring about a Yeshua. And he says, V'yafkam zois, and even at this point, V'yafkam zois b'yosem b'eretz v'yvehem, we're here, right? Lo ma'astem v'legaltem v'chaloisem, right? V'zacharti is brisi Yaakov, v'av is brisi Yitzchak, v'av is brisi Yaakov, Avram, Eskor, and then v'ha'oretz Eskor. I'll remember Eretz Yisrael, right? So, Kabbalistically, and you don't have to get too scared, it's not something very esoteric or whatever, right? You're all familiar in the Siddur, now it's Sfiras Ha'omer. So you all see every night a couple of small letters in each day, right? It's today is Tiferes Shebe Yisoid, B'Yisor Chesed Shebe Chesed, right? Gevura Shebe Netzach, all these different names. That's because there are 7 lowest spheres, and they represent the Shivaroyim, the 7 shepherds of Am Yisrael. We're going to stick with the 3 top ones: Chesed, Gevura, Tiferes. Chesed is Avram Avinu. He did Chesed. He was Gomel Chesed. He opened up his house to everybody. Gevura was Yitzchak. He did the ultimate self-sacrifice. You want to sacrifice me to Hashem? Go ahead. Right? Mm-hmm. Right? Yitzchak Avinu said, the Medrash says, he says, bind me tight so that I don't move, so that the korban is kosher, not possible. Gvura, give yourself over completely to Hashem. Tiferes is Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov is a combination. He did Gvura, he stood up to Lavan, he stood up to Esav, he stood up to a lot of different travails that he faced during his life, right? And he also did Gevaldik Chesed with his family. So these 3 in the Kabbalah are called Chesed, Gevura, and Tiferes. Okay? Clear? Any questions on that? Okay. The Pasuk says, V'zacharti es brisi Yaakov, Tiferes, yeah. Then Yam es brisi Yitzchok, Gevura, V'yaf es brisi Avraham, that's Chesed. Hashem says, I will remember all of these. There's a little problem with that, is that Chesed, Gevura, Tiferes are what's called generally hidden spheres. They're not very open to us that we see it. We see kindnesses of Hashem. We see sometimes the Gevurah, the Midas Hadin of Hashem. Right? We see sometimes beauty in a lot of things that happen, but it's not open to us. What is open to us? The lowest sphera, which is next week's counting, Malchus. Malchus is authority. Malchus is the authority of Hashem. Did you ever hear that Kriya Shema is called Oil Malchus Shemayim? The yoke of heaven? That's what Malchus is. We accept the yoke of Hashem upon us. That's beautiful, right? We accept the Malchus, the authority of Hashem. That's our Malchus. What does it mean to me? That when I accept upon myself the Malchus of Hashem, I'm incorporating Malchus into myself. I'm incorporating authority. Did you ever have a Yetzer Hara to do something wrong? Or not so wrong, but not so right? Right? Did you overcome that Yetzer Hara? That's Malchus. Because you accepted the Malchus of Hashem. When you do that, you're incorporating the Malchus of Hashem into yourself. So Rebbe Nachman says that today he spoke about Eretz Yisrael, lesson 55 in Likutei MoHaRan. He speaks about Eretz Yisrael, and he says, how can we reveal the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael today? We have to, right? We have to reveal. Eretz Yisrael, the entire world is against it. The entire world bandies many lies against Eretz Yisrael, against the Yidden who live there and whatnot. And we have to elevate the power, the Kedusha, the beauty of Eretz Yisrael. We have to do that. It's our job, right? How? By doing mitzvahs and ma'asim tovim. When we work for the power and the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael to be revealed, then we invoke the Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes that comes down, because that's where the ultimate Shefa, the bounty of Hashem, is in those spheres, and it comes down, it feeds Malchus, so that I could partake of Chesed of Hashem. I could have that Gevurah to overcome my Yetzer Hara and all the things that are wrong in my life. I could make a beauty of my life. How? When I reveal it in Malchus. That's the idea. And that's the pasuk, V'zacharti esprisi Yaakov, Tiferes, V'yaf esprisi Yitzchak, V'yaf esprisi Avraham, Ezkor, V'ha'oretz Ezkor. And then I will remember Eretz Yisrael, and that's when we bring up, if we look to do chesed, if we look to be misgaber on the Yetzer Hara, if we look to bring out the beauty of Am Yisrael, right? Many of us say many times we see a Jew do something good. Umi ka'amcha Yisrael. Who is like the Yidden? The chesed that Klal Yisrael does, it's impossible, right? Nobody does chesed like Am Yisrael. You'll hear nice organizations to help out this, to help out that, whatever. Nobody comes near the beauty of Am Yisrael when it comes to doing chesed and being miskaber for the kavod shemayim. So this is the union of the pasuk of the Toichachot. What is it so important about Eretz Yisrael? One of the things we have to know about Malchus, the Arizal explains, Malchus is emunah, faith in Hashem. If you have faith in Hashem, it's one of the 6 mitzvahs tmidiyos the Mishnah Berurah brings down. To have emunah in Hashem, that's Malchus. I believe that Hashem runs the world. I believe that Hashem does whatever He does. Go figure out why Russia invaded Ukraine. Go figure it out, right? Go figure out how the Iranians, who are a 2-bit country, they don't have food to feed their people, but all they can do is think of nuclear weapons so they can destroy Am Yisrael. Go figure this out. How is it allowed to exist? Right? There is, by the way, a Yonasan ben Uziel in Parshas Lech Lecha that talks about the end of time. Poras, Iran, will rise up against the world. And it's such an Yonasan ben Uziel. And who would think about it 20 years ago, right? Pre-Khomeini, whenever he came around. Whatever the case is, you can't figure out, but you have to have the emunah that Hashem runs the world. Another aspect of Malchus is tefillah. Did you ever daven for somebody who wasn't well? The person is not well because Hashem made them sick. Who are you to have the nerve to go pray for that guy to get better? Hashem is the one who made him sick, right? But you're praying for them. Why? Because tefillah could change Hashem's thought, right? Why were the Ovois, Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, why were they barren? Avram, Yitzchak, and Rachel, whatever. Why were they barren? Because Hashem loves their tefillah. Daven and will change nature for you, right? That's tefillah. That's malchus. That's authority. You become an authority over Hashem. Isn't that powerful? Isn't that amazing? The power that we as a Jewish nation have, right? So emunah is malchus is emunah, malchus is tefillah. So let me give you a little scenario that I'm very fond of saying a lot of times. How much of this, the kedusha of Eretz Yisrael, and we need it today. You're all aware, I'm sure, of the government that we have in Israel today, right? So we all need to reveal the kedusha, right? So let's take the first Rashi in Chumash. Bereshis bara Elokim. Rashi says, it's a medrash. Why does the Torah start off with Bereshis bara Elokim? Right? The medrash answer, it should have started off, the Torah is the mitzvahs. Why start off with the story of Bereshis? Rashi explains that Koach ma'asav higid li'amoy loses lahem nachalas goyim. Right? The power of Hashem's actions, his deeds, he gave to his nation to give them the heritage of the goyim. After all, the goyim did live there before us, right? These last few thousand years, couple of thousand years, the goyim, the Arabs, right, especially since Muhammad in 600, whatever, the Arabs spread to Eretz Israel. They're taken there. There's a whole zohar on this, that they will hold back the land of Eretz Israel from all the Jews returning, the zohar and the Parshas Va'era. But they weren't living there. What does it mean to us to take over Eretz Yisrael? What does it mean for us? But Hashem's case. Why? Because Rashi explains. If the Goyim should say, it's our nation, it's our land, you tell them that Hashem created the world. Tell them, Hashem created the world. It's his. To whomever he wants, he gives. He gave it to you, but he took it from you and he gave it to us. Right? So now let's picture the scenario. You're in the General Assembly of the UN, right? That glass theater, and this is Chicago, not New York, but it's in New York. They have this glass theater on 42nd Street. And the Palestinian guy gets up and says, it's our land, right? Allah gave it to us. It's our land. And then you have all the peace-loving countries of the Middle East, like Sudan, Iraq, Iran, Yemen, all the others, Algeria, Libya, they all say we second the motion. It belongs to the Palestinians, right? Along comes this Jewish fellow, representative of Am Yisrael, the ambassador, right? He says, Rabbi Say, you have a taina. The land did belong to you, but Hashem created the world. It belongs to him. And he took it from you, and he gave it to us. Can you imagine how everyone in the UN is going to applaud? Hey, that's right. Yeah, that's it. Right? It belongs to the Jews. So what is Rashi telling us? Rashi says, you tell them it belongs. So I think it belongs to me. So what? So what? What is Rashi saying? Reb Nachman explains that it has absolutely nothing at all to do with the Goyim. Absolutely nothing. It has to do with the Jews. If you, as a Jew, believe that Hashem created the world, if you, as a Jew, believe that it belongs to Hashem, He can do whatever He wants, then it will be accepted. If you don't say that, you don't have that faith, then the Goyim will challenge you every step of the way. And that's what we have today. We have today a lot of us, what are you going to do? The UN says, the US says, this one says France, Germany, and they all get involved. Everyone's telling Am Yisrael what to do. If we believe in the authority of Hashem, if we believe that Hashem runs the world, if we strengthen our emunah that only Hashem runs the world, then we have a claim to the kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. V'yafkam zois b'yosem loy ma'astim v'loy l'chaltim l'chaloisam v'zachati espisi yakoim v'ha'oretz ezkar. Right? The land will be ours. This is the lesson of this week's parsha. Think about it. We have to do chesed. When we do chesed, Hashem gives more chesed. We do a gvura, we overcome our Yetzer Hara. Hashem gives us the strength to continue whatever is bothering us. The Tiferes, the beauty of Am Yisrael is such, right? Take a look. If anyone here they don't look old enough, no? But if anyone remembers back to the 50s, Eretz Yisrael, the Sinai War, Sinai campaign, nobody looks old enough to remember that. I do. But the Six-Day War.
You remember that or you look old enough?
Huh?
You remember that or you look old enough?
I remember I was 10 years old when this was 11 years old. So I remember it. And the Six-Day War, right? The Yom Kippur War. And if you take a look at the history of Am Yisrael, every time there was a problem, it grew. Eretz Yisrael grew. And then more people started moving there. And it started off with 1 million people. Now there's some 8 million people. To take away the God, 7 million people living in Eretz Yisrael. But take a look at Eretz Yisrael today. It's a leader in high tech. It's a leader in medical equipment. It's a leader in agricultural equipment. And it's a leader in a lot of other things too. Right? Eretz Yisrael is on the ascendancy. It's going up. The Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael is on the ascendancy. When I learned there in Yeshiva in 1962, you saw a couple of yarmulkes in Yerushalayim. You go, Adam Meir Sha'ar, you saw a couple of yarmulkes. Tel Aviv, less, but you saw a few. Haifa, you didn't see a yarmulke. Right? Today, Baruch Hashem, there are yeshivas all over. They're learning Torah all over the country. Right? Yiddishkeit is growing. Right? Despite, once someone asked me, show me a modern miracle. And I told them, there's some 7 million Yidden living in Eretz Yisrael. They get up in the morning and they go to work. They send their kids to school. They live a regular life like everybody else in all the other countries. All this is despite the fact that we have a Knesset. But anyway, whatever is happening, you don't think it's true? Right? You don't know what the Knesset does. They're amazing people. I still can't figure out. I'm 47 years in Eretz Yisrael. I still can't figure them out. But whatever the case is, all you have is a moridika ascendancy of Klal Yisrael. The beauty of Am Yisrael. V'ha'oretz ezkar. Eretz Yisrael is coming to the forefront. Everyone should move there now so that you can greet Moshiach rather than having been taken on his wings. Right? That's my opinion. Right? And the idea of the koyach of Kedushas Eretz Yisrael is what? Is the fact that we're able to connect with Hashem. The Shechina is Malchus. Malchus represents the Shechina. If we attach ourselves to Malchus, we are attached to the Shechina. And we can all become part of Hashem. We can feel Hashem. It's possible. Rabbi say it's possible. to be able to come close to Hashem. So that's the lesson of today. I hope everyone understands and accepts and moves to Eretz Yisrael. Whatever the case is, you're going to ask me, if everyone moves, where are we going to come to Chicago to raise funds, right? Don't worry about it. We'll raise you from here over there. We won't forget you. We'll hit you there. But really, Be'ezah Hashem, we should all be zocher to remember for Haaretz Ezkor. I should never forget the Kedushas Eretz Yisrael is the place for every Yid, and Hashem is there, and it's our emunah that will carry the day. Our emunah will bring us to see the beauty of Eretz Yisrael. B'meira b'yameinu.
Amen.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, and Hashem should bless you with strength and good health.
Amen.
Thank you.